Hi everyone, my name is Anna Claire Todd, and I will be doing a presentation over the scholarly essay titled Psychological Responses to Natural Patterns in Architecture. So, the presenting author, myself, Anna Claire Todd, I am affiliated with University of Texas in Austin, and I'm majoring in journalism at the Moody College of Communications. And the original authors and their affiliations goes as follows. So first we have University of Cambridge, USA, Alexander Coburn, and he's also the corresponding author. And next we have University of Chicago, and we have Omid Cardon, Hiroki Katabi, Jason Steinberg, and Mark G. Berman. Next we have New Mexico State University, and here we have Aaron Robbins and Justin McDonald. And lastly, we have University of Pennsylvania, Gregor Hein Linchenring. Okay, so to start out, we're going to kind of talk about the background and significance of this experiment. So, first, we know we have previous evidence that shows that nature is good for us and that we humans enjoy it. So, it can even improve our mood, cognition, and just so much more. And it's also known that humans typically prefer organic materials rather than synthetic. So think more curvy and fluid shapes over straight, sharp lines. It's also been proven that our physical environment matters, and it can help or hurt our mental health. So kind of think a hospital versus your own home, where would you rather be? That type of thing. Next, we have the purpose of this. What is the purpose of this? It's going to help us pave the way for more organic architectural forms. People spend up to 90% of the time in buildings, so why wouldn't we create something that would enhance the human experience? Using forms that aid mental health on a bigger scale, so kind of helping push more natural forms in architecture. So, the hypothesis of this experiment was that the more natural and organic environments are going to be preferred and better received than the synthetic fake ones and man made ones. Okay, to start out the experiment, we first have to establish what nature like patterns are. They did an experiment where they asked 100 adults to rate a number of images on their level of naturalness. So half of the people were shown interiors, the other half were shown exteriors, and here you can see they kind of hit every mark of building, commercial, educational, governmental, residential, medical, and religious, and kind of just ask them which ones, in their personal opinion, seems more natural. And in the results, we kind of see that naturalness is associated with more levels of scale and contrast. And here you can see that there are higher values of scaling, STDAT and SD Bright, which kind of just show that they mean higher, are more associated with naturalness. And here you can kind of see what I'm talking about. This one would be considered, image C would be considered more scaling and contrast versus image D would be less scaling and less contrast. Okay, so now we know that what naturalness is in buildings, are they preferred? So this is what the next part of the experiment is seeing. They asked, again, 100 adults to make preference ratings over one image that followed results from part one and one that does not. So here, image A versus image B. Image A obviously following the findings from method one. And again, half were shown interiors, half were shown exteriors, and basically just asked which one they prefer. And again, there was a strongly preferred for the natural buildings in what we established. And here you can see the p-value is less than 0.001, meaning there is strong evidence against the null hypothesis, which is a form of hypothesis that is false until proven otherwise. The result is statistically significant, so meaning that the result is statistically significant. Okay, So first we established what nature-like patterns were in architecture, and then using that, they were able to decide if those natural buildings were preferred. And again, the more scale and contrast the building had, the more it was preferred. Okay, some future directions we can take this is seeing whether scale and contrast in buildings are linked to the improvement of health, and maybe see who recovers faster. Maybe see a hospital that follows more scale and contrast versus one that doesn't. See how they can affect people in them. Next, we can test to see the correlation between scale and contrast with enhanced psychological effects. So, again, with what I said with mood and function, see which one maybe helps study better, or taking a test in a certain building that follows these scale and contrast, see which one has better test scores. And then lastly, we can test the overall mood or happiness in cities with less or more natural architecture and just see which one has a better overall mood and happiness. And all of these are just further directions we can take this in. These are not scientific truth, just pure curiosity. Okay, so overall, we established what makes architecture natural, which being scale and contrast, and that architecture with more of those features were significantly preferred. As a society, it's so important to create architecture that aids in human experience and doesn't hinder it. Since we spend so much of our time in or around architecture, why not do the best we can? And I think this experiment really helps with that. Here are my references. Here are my acknowledgements. Thank you. That's it.